Hello, everyone. Welcome to um, week 2 of English 2 this summer at Cabrillo College. I'm David Lau, and today I'm going to be walking us through a series of lectures on part 1 of Rousseau's Discourse on the Origin of Inequality. So what I'd like everyone to do is go through the lecture notes, use them as a guide to help you. The page numbers are indicated of the passages covered in the lecture, and we'll continue the discussion in our forum online, where there are 3 different discussion threads. I'm going to talk through some of the basics of the lecture and then post videos to our webpage. Okay, so in the beginning here, I just want everyone to go to the opening part 1, which is on page 16. So I'm opening up my book. I'm on page 16. As you can see, there's the question of the Academy in Dijon. And what they are asking Rousseau is something he had tried to cover in the preface, as we'd previously seen, and that was what is the origin of inequality among men, and is it authorized by natural law? So how did social differences, social differentiation, inequalities of wealth, property that exist today, how did those come to be? How did they originate? And is their existence natural, or could it be said to be a reflection of nature? So social differentiation, political inequality, is that somehow a natural form of life? That's the basic idea of the question. So remember, in the preface, Rousseau had said, before we answer that question, we have to have this first question resolved, and that is, who exactly is mankind? And the problem that we have is that in asking this question, the only people we have to look at are ourselves, and we're very unnatural, societalized creatures. We have language, we have conventions of property, family, law, we have arts and technology and scientific knowledge and natural history. So we're not early prehistorical natural beings, and there are no such people in some sense anymore. Even the human beings around us in the most primitive societies are not natural. They all have society, social order, complex ranking systems, languages, religious beliefs, and on and on and on. So in some way he's trying to get back to the beginning of beginning here. As he takes on the question on page 16, he's basically saying, okay, inequality, there are two kinds of inequality. On the one hand, there's physical inequality, and that he's basically going to discuss from page 18, the beginning of part 1, through to page 24, physical inequality. What does that mean? Physical inequality, Rousseau's own words, are pretty straightforward. He says it's natural because it is established by age difference, health difference, bodily strength difference, and qualities of mind. So mentality and physicality, there are differences between people, inequities and inequalities between people, physically, mentally, and they could in some sense be said to be established naturally, and they would have long predated society, and they still exist within it now. And then he says there's another kind of inequality, and that's metaphysical, moral, or political inequality. And those are forms of inequality that we establish, that human beings establish among ourselves in some form they're consented to or authorized by us, or we're exploited by them, and some few come to be served by the many in political and social inequality. Some few people come to benefit at the expense of the many in Rousseau's analysis. Now, you could say that he's going to elaborate that idea of inequality from page 24, the bottom of 24, on through to the end of part 1. So it's about a 20-page discussion compared to a 6 or 7-page discussion of physical inequality. But physical inequality is nonetheless a very interesting passage. Okay, so let's go back to that. And I'm going to make a second video going through physical inequality.